users and deleting the users. Okay, and we have seen the password states also, right? Okay, there are three states for a password. NP stands for no password, PS stands for password state set, and LK is nothing but lock, password lock. And if we have seen in what are the scenarios, you will see this different states of a password for a user, right? And now we will see how to manage the user accounts, and we will go with the, we have a command called password, and we have a command called chh command. Okay, so basically these two commands are used uh, to, you know mm, these two commands are used to check the expiry date, inactive days, and the pass. I mean, you can set the warning days, and locking and unlocking. Everything can be done with this commands. So let us see. We'll try to log in. So yesterday we have created some users, right? We renamed it, all these things we have done. So now we are going to say something about PASSWD hyphen capital S RAM. So this is the information about the RAM. You can see this. RAM is a user, the password is there for this user, that's the reason the same password set. And this is all the information, minimum days, maximum days, warning days. Okay, and this is -1 is nothing but expiry. And remember one thing, when it comes to Linux, no user accounts gets expired by default until unless we will not set the expiry. Okay, this is very important thing. So we will be seeing how this password command is going to what are the options it is going to provide. We will see here. Okay, so let us see what the things going on. So PASSWD password hyphen H, or I will just say help. Uh, so you can see these are all the options, these are all the flags that we are going to see with the help of password command. So using password command, you can just -D, it is going to delete the password. Okay, L is nothing but lock the password, U to unlock the password, E is to expiry, F is nothing but force operations. Okay, and X is nothing but minimum days, N is nothing but X is nothing but maximum days, N is nothing but minimum days, W is nothing but warning days, and I is nothing but inactive days. Okay, you can set all this information with the help of password command. At the same time, we also have a command called chh. When I just run chh command, but using chh we can do some limited number of tasks, such as we can define the last date of password change, or what we say, set the date for last password change. Okay, E stands for expiry, I stands for inactive days, M stands for minimum days, capital M stands for maximum days, W stands for warning days, right? But compared to password command, it is always recommended to use chh command only when you decide to change the password aging for a user. There's nothing but minimum days, maximum days, warning days if you want to change. Even expiry days and inactive days if you want to change for a user, if you want to allocate for a user, then we are going to use chh command. Okay, so let me show you like how the chh command is going to work. Basically, the chh is a menu driven command. It is a menu driven command. It runs like this. So basically, when I decide to assign this password age for a user using this command, basically what is this password age? Okay, it's minimum days I am talking, maximum days I am talking, or warning days I am talking, or inactive days I am talking, right? So basically this is called password policy. So when you join, when you work with any company, every company will be providing you the password policy. And remember, when I am talking about the password policy, uh, there will be, I mean, based on the company type, based on the usage, okay, there will be password policies. So some companies will have 1 week password policy. Some companies will have what we say uh, 15 days password policy. Some companies 30 days. Like this, the password policies will be there. Getting it? So this is the way how the password policies is going to. Or there are some companies we have to go with a new password for every login. Take an example, if you're working with banking sector, yes, you have to. And sometimes when you log in, when you want to log in as a root, I'm talking, so you need to take a password from the client. Okay, until unless the client doesn't provide you the password, you will not be able to do it. Okay, so this is information. Now when I talk minimum password age, I'm just going to put 20 days because I am just deciding to put a 30 days policy. In this 20 days policy, I'm defining minimum days and max is 30 days, and the last change of password go with default. Warning days should be 25th onwards. Inactive days, I want to put 3. Expiry, yes, I want to give expiry for this user. You have to give year, month and date. So I'm just putting year 2006 and the month is 11 and the date is something called 21. Okay, that's it. Okay, now how do you check this information? I will run PASSWD password icon capital S RAM. You can see it has been settled here. Yeah, this is the information.
Bharat,
Or else you can go. Yes, tell me.
can I ask you this password inactive -1 is equals to?
Mm-hmm. -1 is nothing but inactive. It never goes inactive days. అంటే -1 is nothing but unlimited. అంటే మీరు మీ అకౌంట్ లోకి 1 డే కానీ 2 డే కానీ 10 డేస్ కానీ 100 డేస్ తర్వాత కూడా మీరు లాగిన్ అయినా కూడా మీ అకౌంట్ అవైలబుల్ లో ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే
ఓకే, ఇన్ కేస్ నేను 3 సెట్ చేశాను అనుకోండి, ఒక కంటిన్యూస్ గా మీరు ఒక 3 డేస్ లాగిన్ కాకపోతే మీ అకౌంట్ లాక్ లోకి వెళ్తుంది.
ఓకే
అప్పుడు మీరు లాగిన్ కావాలన్నా కాలేరు, రైట్?
ఓకే
Appu you have to meet your manager or your administrator then to get it unlocked. See, most of the times what we will do, simple ga meeru swipe chestaru company loki velletappudu,
యా
right? Getting it? The security guy will be sitting there. Okay, he will just see whether you are swiping or not, but he will not see whether you are coming daily or not. Yes or no?
యా
Right? సో నాకు థౌజండ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ ఉంటారు. ఆ ఎంప్లాయీస్ ని సెక్యూరిటీ కూడా మానిటర్ చేయరు. అదే మీరు ప్రాజెక్ట్ లోకి వెళ్ళినా కూడా వస్తే చేయించుకుంటారు, లేకపోతే చేయించరు. రైట్? Getting it? If such a kind of project is there, how your manager is going to know that you are available in the company or you're not available in the company, or you're coming or not? What is the status? రైట్? సో అందు గురించి ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఏదైనా అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు డెఫినెట్ గా ఇన్యాక్టివ్ డేస్ అనేది చేస్తారు. ఓకే, మినిమం 3 డేస్ పెడతారు. అంటే కంటిన్యూస్ గా 3 డేస్ రాకపోతే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మీ అకౌంట్ లాక్ స్టేట్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. మీరు వచ్చి స్వైప్ చేయగానే ఇమీడియట్ గా ఒక బీప్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో సెక్యూరిటీ అతను ఏమంటాడు, సింపుల్ గా పొలైట్ గా తీసుకెళ్లి తీసుకెళ్ళడు. Just you will inform that please call your manager or contact your department.
Okay.
Understand? So you will be calling them saying that boss, my account got locked. Then he will cross check and they will ask you, they can cross question you, why you were not been in the office for 3 days without any information. So you at that time you need to give an explanation for it, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the way how it is going. మీరు మొబైల్ నంబర్ కూడా తీసుకున్నారు అనుకోండి. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నాకు ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ వచ్చింది, నేను యూఎస్ వెళ్తున్నాను, రైట్? ఐ విల్ బి బ్యాక్ ఫ్రమ్ యూఎస్ అగైన్ ఆఫ్టర్ 5 months. అప్పుడు దాకా నా నంబర్ ఉంటుందో పోతుందో తెలియదు. అప్పుడు నేనేం చేస్తాను, ఐ విల్ జస్ట్ గో టు మై సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్ అండ్ ఐ విల్ గివ్ అన్ అప్లికేషన్ సేయింగ్ దట్ I'm just going for an out of station for 5 months. Make sure that my number will be there when I reach. Okay, what happens means బేసిక్ గా ఒక నంబర్ కి ఇన్కమింగ్ అవుట్ గోయింగ్ కాల్స్ చాలా తక్కువ ఉంటాయి, అసలు లేవు అంటే ఆ నంబర్ ని రీసైకిల్ చేసి మళ్ళీ కొత్త వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చేస్తాం. గెటింగ్ మై పాయింట్? ఓకే, అలా కాకూడదు అనుకుంటే అప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, సింపుల్ గా ఒక అప్లికేషన్ రాస్తాం. లేదు అంటే లైట్ తీసుకున్నారనుకోండి, ఇట్ విల్ గెట్ రీసైకిల్. ఓకే, సో లైక్ దిస్ ఇట్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు హ్యాపెన్ when it comes to user. అంటే మీ మొబైల్ అకౌంట్ కూడా ఒక యూజర్ అకౌంట్. Your mobile number is also an user account. Why? Because on your mobile number, whatever the transaction is made, that will be stored in some database.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the information. So this account will be linked to some databases. Remember that. అది ఏ డేటాబేస్ అంటే ఒకసారి SQL ఉండొచ్చు, Oracle ఉండొచ్చు, ఇంకేదైనా DB2 ఉండొచ్చు. Okay, getting it? This is information. Done?
Yeah.
But you will ask me like, how do we test this, warning this, all these things? Simple, you have a date command, right? Just change the date and you just check it out. Okay, and the 20 days, 30 days, 25 days ఎలా పనిచేస్తుంది? Take an example. ఇవాళ నాకు ఒక రిక్వైర్మెంట్ వచ్చింది. I got a requirement saying that for some development group, I am having a C++ developers are there. That group is there, and in that group my manager called me and said that they hired some 50 new employees for developing some coding. So what they said is you have to provide account for them, and okay, so because they're temporarily working with our project right now, they may be very soon will be shifted to some other projects. Okay, so atanu emantarante, he has given clear instructions saying that they will be working in our project for next 45 days from today. Okay, so he asked me to create an account and make sure that after 45 days their accounts should not work. So when I'm creating this accounts, okay, and I will be setting the all the attributes like expiry and inactive days. So expiring in 45 days just everything is fine, right? But now client agar twist em pettaru ante every 15 days వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ own password, every 30 days ఒకసారి వాళ్ళ password change చేసుకోవాలి, right? Example 30 days ఒకసారి password change చేయాలి, అది కంపెనీ పాలసీ. సో అప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తాము, ఈ 50 యూజర్ అకౌంట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఓకే, ఎప్పుడైతే మనం క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో దానికి మనము 50 అకౌంట్స్ కి ఒకటే పాస్వర్డ్ ఇస్తాం. లైక్ ఓకే, వాట్ ఇస్ ద పాస్వర్డ్? ABC123 అవర్ టెస్ట్ 123 ఇలా ఇచ్చేస్తాం, రైట్? సో ఐ హ్యావ్ గివెన్ their యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్ టు their manager or their team. They have distributed to everyone, right? So when they are logging for the first time into the server, it takes the default password. They force you to change the new password, the customized password. The user password change చేసుకుంటారు తర్వాత ఆ రోజు నుంచి 20 రోజుల దాకా మీరు పాస్వర్డ్ చేంజ్ చేయలేరు. అది మినిమం డేస్ టు చేంజ్ పాస్వర్డ్. ఆ 20 days అయిపోగానే 21st day నుంచి మీరు పాస్వర్డ్ చేంజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. కానీ కొందరు లేజీ యూజర్స్ ఉంటారు, దే నెవర్ చేంజ్ దేర్ పాస్వర్డ్ బికాస్ దే ఆర్ అఫ్రేడ్ దే విల్ ఫర్గెట్. Okay, so what they will do, they never change the password. 21 days అయింది, 22, 23, 24, 25 days అయింది. 25 days దాకా ఏం చేయదు. 25 days తర్వాత దట్ మీన్ 26 days నుంచి వార్నింగ్ త్రో చేస్తుంది. మీరు లాగిన్ అయినప్పుడల్లా వార్నింగ్ త్రో చేస్తుంది. ఏమని? ఇంకొక 4 రోజులలో మీ పాస్వర్డ్ ఎక్స్పైర్ అవుతుంది, చేంజ్ చేసుకోండి, 3 డేస్లో చేంజ్ చేసుకోండి, 2 డేస్లో చేంజ్ చేసుకోండి, 1 డేలో చేంజ్ చేసుకోండి. మనం చేంజ్ చేయము. 30th డే వస్తుంది, రాగానే ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇప్పుడున్న కరెంట్ పాస్వర్డ్ తీసుకొని కొత్త పాస్వర్డ్ ఇవ్వమని ఫోర్స్ఫుల్గా చెప్తుంది. అండర్స్టాండ్? Okay, this is how the password policy is going to be. This is how the password policy is going to work. Understood, right? Any doubts here?
No, 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 thank you.
So this is all the way how this the password policy is going to work. Right? Now you understood about how the chh and the password command is going to work. Now we will see something about how do we monitor the user. So basically we have a command called who. Using this who command, we will just monitor who are the users logged into the machine with their IP addresses, terminal type, date and time, everything. If I say who-r, it gives a run level. Who-b, it gives a system boot time. If I say who-q, it is going to give you a user's name and the total number of users. Okay, who am I?
Hello, hello, can't hear you. Hello. You are able to see the screen? Yeah.
Right. So the last, we were discussing something about the who command. So when I just run who, it is going to give you currently logged in users information, and who-r, it gives you the current run level. Who-b, it is giving the system boot time when the system got booted. Okay, and who-q, it is going to give you the list of users and the usernames and the total users. And who am I? It gives the detailed information about the user currently logged in. Okay, detailed information we can say. So I'll just say root, I'll just log in. So I can just say who am I as a single word command. You can see it's a user called root, and see that. Okay, and apart from this, right, we also have a command called last. So last is a command that gives us information the successful logins of the user. So the users who have been logged in successfully, their information will be given here. Okay, and when I just say last, these commands are majorly used to monitor. For example, I just want to know when the server got rebooted. I just want to know when the server got shut down. Okay, I just want to know when the root user logged in. I just want to know when the user called Ram logged in. Okay, so this is the way how this last command is going to work. Yeah, and apart from this last command, we have a command called lid-g, the group name. Take an example, if I put a group called root, it is going to give you a list of users who belongs to the root group. So like this, you can know information for every group. For example, if I am having a group here, when I just say it is a group file, when I open, there is a group with the name called Java, there is a group with the name called Oracle, right? So I will just say lid-g Oracle. So in the Oracle, lid -g Oracle. When I say there is only one user who belongs to Oracle, his name is Ramchandra. This is the information, right? So you can list the users, the list of users who belongs to this, of this command. Okay, and apart from this, okay, we are going to see something about the logs. So when I'm talking about a log, just go to the var log here. When I just go to the var log here, when I just say ls, you see there are so many log files you see. One is wtmp, another one is btmp, another one is something called last log, another one is secure, right? You can see mail log. There's so many logs. So let us see what information this logs is going to maintain. So remember the BTMP that contains the logs of currently logged in users information. And remember this BTMP is basically an encrypted file. It is an encrypted file. Okay. So when I say it is an encrypted file, okay, when it is an encrypted file, you can't see the information from this file using cat or vim, right? You can't read it. For that reason only, what they have done, they have used a command called who. So whenever you are running who command, it is going to give you a list of users currently logged in the server. Okay, so basically when you run the who, this who command is going to read this BTMP file and it is going to give you the list of users currently logged in the server. At the same time, when I talk about WTMP, even this is also an encrypted file. You can't read any information from this file, but the question here is what information is stored in this file. It contains a list of users successfully logged in. Okay, so basically this is also an encrypted file, right? We are using something called last. So whenever you are running a last command, it is reading the information from which file? It is reading the information from a file called WTMP. It is reading the information from the WTMP. Understand? So this is the way how it is going to work. Okay, and apart from this two log file, we have another log file such as we have something called last log. Okay, we have something called secure. See, when I'm talking about secure, exactly what information that secure file is going to maintain. It contains the security information about every user. Small example. I will just say grep ram secure. So you can see changing the password expiry for RAM. Okay, just now we have done it. Okay, now if you want to do some more information, for example, I'll just say root secure. This is the information about root. You can see from which IP address they are connecting, what type of service they are using. Okay, whether their login access is properly happening or not, whether if any failures happening, all these things it is going to show you. Okay, so this is the information how we are going to use secure. Okay, then apart from this, when you go to this var log, there is another file called last log. So basically this file need to read like this, and this is going to give you the list of IP addresses from the ways user is login and whatever the terminals, virtual terminals they are being used, their information will be given. Okay, when I say ls, there is another file called mail logs. So basically this mail logs contains when you configure mail server, it is going to contain all the mail related logs it is going to maintain. Okay, so this is the basic logs that we regularly look. And apart from this, we have this of the information that we are going to see. Okay, right. Now this is all the logs, and apart from these logs, we also have a command that helps us in checking the consistency of etc password, etc shadow, etc group, etc gshadow. What are the commands grpck? So when I just run grpck command, it is going to check the consistency of etc group. It is going to check the consistency of etc group. Okay, getting it? When I just run like this, it will check. Why we are checking the consistency of etc group? Because in my server I'm having more number of groups. Okay, and there is some problem with some groups, and for that reason I can't go to every line to check the group problem, where the problem is there. Instead of doing that, we are going to run grpck command, so it is going to check the consistency of etc group. And there is another command called grpcon. When I run grpcon, it is going to check the consistency between etc group and etc gshadow. etc group and etc gshadow. Understand? So this is the information about grpcon. Okay, and apart from this, we also have pwck. It checks the consistency of etc password. So in this etc password, you can see this users are having some problem. Why? Because this user doesn't have a home directory. That's the reason it is giving the information here, right? Okay, so don't worry, because this is a system user. No need to worry. Apart from the system users, if any of the users is giving you any issues, like there is a home directory is not there, shell is not there, or some other problem is there, you need to fix that problems for that particular user. Called pwcon. It checks the consistency between etc password and etc shadow. It checks the consistency between etc password and etc shadow. This is the information. Clear? Okay. So this is a very important command that we are going to use. And I will tell you, not only checks the consistency, if etc shadow file is corrupted, with the help of pwcon command, we can recover it also. Okay. So this is the advantage when we talk about this commands. Okay. And apart from this 4 commands, there is a command called uptime, which gives you the information about uptime, and since how long the server is up, how many users are there, what is the average load, all these things it is going to give you. And apart from this, there is a command called AU report. Okay, so when I just run AU report, it is nothing but authentication and authorization reports, we can say. It gives a detailed information here. For example, I just want to know only hyphen AU hyphen I hyphen failed. I is going to give you a list of users that got failed. Okay, this is all this is going to give you. So you can see there is a user called root. He is trying to log in from this IP address, he failed. There is a user called Kumar. He is trying to log in from this machine, he got failed. And when we have something called success, so you can just see this success logins. This is all the success logins. So like this, we can check the information for every user. I just want to check the information for a user called Kumar. This is information. So from where he logged in, what shell he got, all these things. Okay, so this is the advantage when you go with the AU report. Any doubts here?
No, no, it's clear.
Okay, so this is all about the user administration. Okay, and you can see all this informations are there inside the documentations. You can just have a look. Okay, so this is the information.
బాలగారు
చెప్పండి.
ఈ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ కూడా ఒకసారి సెండ్ చేయండి మొత్తం అప్ టు డేట్ వరకు ఒకసారి మధ్యలో కొన్ని
మీరు డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఏం పంపించలేదా? ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ దాకా వచ్చింది కదా, పంపించాం కదా ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్.
ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ కూడా ఆడదండి, అంతకు ముందు వరకు వచ్చింది, ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ నుంచి రావాలి.
ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ పార్టీషనింగ్ పంపించాను.
పార్టీషన్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ అవన్నీ వచ్చాయండి.
అదే పార్టీషన్ దాంట్లోనే ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్, అది లెంతీ డాక్యుమెంట్, అది అన్ని ఒక దాంట్లోనే పెట్టాను, మీరు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ కావద్దని చెప్పి.
ఓకే ఓకే
ఓకే, అప్పుడు ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మనం డివైస్ నేమింగ్ కన్వెన్షన్ డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. డివైస్ నేమింగ్ కన్వెన్షన్ తర్వాత పార్టీషనింగ్, ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఇవన్నీ డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. రైట్, ఇవాళ యూజర్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. రైట్, ఓకే. సో ఎనీహౌ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి పంపిస్తాను, లేదు డాక్యుమెంట్ పంపించడానికి పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. I will send you again your file system and the user administration I will send.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So we are going to discuss something about booting process. You're able to hear me, right? So we are going to discuss something about boot process. So what is boot process? It is nothing but I can say background process. A boot process is nothing but background process. What is exactly this background process mean? Okay, so when you power on the machine, till we get a login prompt, whatever the task it does, okay, and that particular task is called background. I mean, whatever task it does in the backend to bring the operating system online to the login prompt, that process is called booting process, or it is called background process. So basically I am telling you that it is the booting process is nothing but background process. You can't see it. Then what is the use of learning booting process? Is there any major importance to the booting process? Yes.
Yeah.
Why we have to know about the booting process? Yes. So basically when I'm talking about the booting process, when I'm talking about the booting process, it is a background process only, right? It is very, very useful when you, okay, restart the server, when you shut down the machine, okay, and after restart or when you reboot the machine, when you shut down and power on the machine, if the operating system is not coming properly, then we need to troubleshoot, we need to bring that machine online as it is. For that reason only we need a booting process. As administrator, we should have a knowledge on the booting process to troubleshoot it. But okay, fine, when it comes to the production environment, okay, once a server is moved to the production, are we going to reboot or shut down the machine daily or weekly, or not even once in a month? Yes or no? Okay, so are we going to reboot? No, we are not going to reboot, we are not going to shut down. Once it is powered on, it will keep on running in the production. Then what is the use of knowing booting process? Yes, if I'm not rebooting the machine, what is the use of knowing booting process? Because there are servers which is running from last 4 years, 5 years, even more than that also continuously. Then what is the use? So when it comes to the real-time environment, as we discussed, we never reboot the server, we never shut down the server weekly or even monthly, once in a month or once in a 6 months also. Yes, we will also reboot the server or shut down the machine when we have a maintenance. Okay, what do you mean by maintenance? When you want to replace some hardware resources like CPU and memory, some RAID controller, some HC, HBS, or sometimes if you want to upgrade the firmware, sometimes if you want to upgrade the kernel, when you want to upgrade the application, when you want to fix some vulnerabilities and errors and bugs, definitely we need to reboot or definitely we need to shut down the server. Yes or no? Right? So whenever you're doing this kind of maintenance, whenever you're rebooting the server, whenever you're shutting down the server, then after the maintenance, when you power on it, if a machine is not coming online, okay, then if you want to troubleshoot, if you want to bring the machine as it is before it rebooted, then a administrator should have a very good picture on the booting process. And without information, without knowledge on the booting process, it is very difficult for an administrator to get a machine by troubleshooting it online. Getting it? So this is the information. So let us see how it is going to work. So when I'm talking about the booting process, it is called background process. But before we go to the booting process, we should also should have information about something called post. You know what is post? So power on self test it is called. Okay, there's something called power on self test. But here the question is, from where this power on self test is going to run? It is going to run from a chip called PROM chip. PROM stands for programmable read-only memory. Okay, PROM is nothing but programmable read-only memory. Getting it? Okay. Programmable read-only memory. Right? So whenever I talk about the programmable read-only memory, what is exactly programmable read-only? Where it is located? What is exactly? And this programmable read-only memory is only called from BIOS, and it is also called what? From. Okay, and from this BIOS, from this firmware only, the post is going to run. POST stands for power on self test. POST stands for power on self test. This is information. So what do you mean by power on self test? Before the operating system gets booted, it is going to test the all hardware that is available on the server, connected to the server, to make sure that all the hardware is connected properly. Okay, because after the system operating system gets booted, we should not face any problem. That's the reason it has to, okay, it is going to check the all the hardware. So once the hardware is tested, what it is going to do? Okay, post. Okay, power on self test. What it is going to do? Once the power on self test has been done, it is going to read something called boot priority. It will check. Boot priority it will check, and based on that it is going to boot out. Right? So this is the thing. Now let me give you the information about only PROM we are discussing. Okay. See, I'm talking about a PROM. PROM stands for programmable read-only memory, right? So take an example, this is my server, this is my motherboard. On this motherboard we have a CPU, memory disk, everything is there. At the same time we also have a chip called PROM. Okay, we also have a chip called PROM. PROM stands for programmable read-only memory. Okay, so when I say programmable read-only memory here, so once the program it is written into the chip, no one can change it. That is nothing but programmable read-only memory. Okay, so once the program is written into this chip, no one can change it. But I will ask you the question here: how come your date and time is getting updated? How come you are able to change boot priorities? Okay, how come you are able to enable and disable devices at BIOS? Yes, getting it? Yeah. How come you are setting the password to the BIOS? So where it is storing? If you are doing all these modifications, where this information is stored? Because you can't make any changes in the PROM. Okay, when you get into the BIOS, you can't make any because BIOS runs from the PROM, right? So where this changes is going to done? Any idea? Yes?
No.
No idea? What is this? So when I'm talking about any server, there will be a chip with a name called, there will be a battery with the name called CMOS. That is called complementary metal, complementary, okay, metal oxide semiconductor. It is called. This is a battery which is connected on your motherboard, okay, and with the help of this chip, these informations will be keep on updating. That means if I want to tell you whatever the changes we are making to the BIOS, that will be stored in CMOS. With the help of CMOS battery, it will store here. Okay, and you have observed most of the times when the CMOS battery fails, all your BIOS settings will go to the default setting that is called PROM settings. Understand? Okay, so this is the thing happens when it comes to the server. Understood, right? How the things is getting updated. But here, as of now, you understood how the BIOS parameters is getting updated when you change it. Did you heard something about firmware upgradation?
Yeah.
Yes,
Heard of?
firmware. Firmware is a thing. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we heard of. I heard of it.
Okay. So why we have to upgrade firmware? Is there any specific reason to update firmware? Sometimes you will get a ticket or somebody will say that I have upgraded firmware.
Yes.
Why the people are upgrading firmware? See, small example. I am purchasing one HP server and I purchased it somewhere 5 years back. When I purchased 5 years back, it is coming with a BIOS version called 3.x. Okay, and at that time, whatever the BIOS version we are getting, with that, whatever the features we are having, I'm very much happy at that time using all the features at the BIOS level. I was using it, install operating system, applications, tools, users, everything is going on fine. Okay, then after 5 years, now my client is thinking for some features that are available in hardware, they want to use it. For that reason, he was just looking in the data center. We find that the HP servers we bought it 5 years back, they have that feature. So what they will raise, he will raise a ticket to us saying that please verify that HP machines whether they are compatible with this technology or not. So what we will do, we will see the hardware specifications of a particular machine. Then we will try to log in into the remote console and we will see what is the version, the BIOS version of this particular server. It is clear that 3.x, and when I contact the vendor, they are saying that if you upgrade to 5.x, then we can avail that new features. Okay, I can avail that new features. So for that, what we have to do, we have to go for firmware upgradation, right? But when we want to go for firmware upgradation, when we have only PROM, can we upgrade the firmware? If I am having a PROM, can we update the firmware? Because PROM stands for Programmable Read-Only Memory. PROM stands for Programmable Read-Only Memory. Once a program is written, no one can change it. Only vendor has to change. Okay, if I want to send it to the vendor, will it happen in 1 hour, 2 hours? It will take nearly 1 week to 15 days downtime. Will my client will wait? Will my customers will wait? No. So how do we fulfill? So for that reason only, they replace this PROM with some other PROMs that is called FPROM, something called EEPROM. So what is this FPROM? FPROM stands for Flash PROM. FPROM stands for Flash PROM and EEPROM stands for electronically erasable programmable ROM. This is the information. And remember one thing, the Flash PROMs used to come with the workstations and EEPROM used to come with the servers. Okay, and these two PROMs, FPROM and EEPROM are reprogrammable chips. Because they are reprogrammable chips, we can apply the patch, we can upgrade the firmware. So remember one thing, if you want to upgrade the firmware, we have to take hardware console and from there only we can upgrade it. So from hardware console, the firmware can be upgraded. Firmware can upgrade. Understand? understood about what is EEPROM and EEPROM?
Yeah.
Any doubts here?
Mm.
Okay, so this is the way. Yes, clear, right?
It's
So
clear.
this is the information. Yes, this is the concept. Let me take you. So the boot process is nothing but a background process. When we switch on the server from the particular point to the login prompt, what is known as background process or booting process, before the operating system boots, it runs the post power on self-test, and there will be a chip with the name called PROM. PROM stands for programmable read-only memory, and this chip contains the default firmware provided by the vendor, and all editable information is stored inside the CMOS. When the CMOS battery fails, it will take all the system settings to the default settings. And you know, PROM is a 1 MB chip located on the motherboard, and it runs the post. And PROM contains the firmware provided by the vendor, and PROM is permanently soldered on the motherboard. Like PROM, we have a different types of PROM like FPROM and EEPROM. They are reprogrammable checks. Okay, so right now whatever the servers we are having, all these servers are coming with EEPROM. Okay, so you can just upgrade the firmware. Even right now your laptops and desktops also coming with EEPROM. Okay, you can just update the patch from, firmware patch from the OS level. When you the machine gets rebooted, it fixes that program into directly into the PROM. That is called EEPROM. Okay, so this is advantage when it comes to them. Okay, and now we will see when we switch on the server, you know, as a power supply, as a power is supplied to your machine. Okay, it performs something called power on self test. It checks all the hardware integrity check, and it reads the boot priority based on the first boot device. It starts booting the devices like it may be disk, CD-ROM or network. Okay, so before we get into the booting process, we also should discuss something about the bootloader. So what is the bootloader? It's a small program that helps us in booting the GBs of TBs of operating system. Like, you know, you have a car. Okay, for that car, if you want to start, you will not push that, you will not lift that. Yes or no? You will just inside, you will sit inside and you will just put a key and you will just turn around it, and automatically the car gets started. It is very wonder, right? It's a big car, we are just putting one small key and it is starting up. So like this only when it comes to the Linux or when it comes to the Windows or any operating system, the operating system doesn't have a capability to boot itself. Okay, so there should be a small program that helps us in boot, helps the operating system to boot, and that small program only it is called grub. Grub stands for Grand Unified Boot Loader. Okay, so we are going to discuss something about this Grand Unified Bootloader, how it is going to work, how many components it is being divided, and what these components are going to do to boot the operating systems we are going to see. Okay, and let us go with the things. So the grub legacy consists of three stages: stage 1, stage 1.5, and stage 2. So the Grand Unified Bootloader, this loads the kernel in three stages. One is stage 1, another is stage 1.5, and stage 2. When I talk about stage 1, the primary bootloader, stage 1 is nothing but just 512 bytes, where on your disk, where you install operating system, on the first 512 bytes of your disk, we have a primary bootloader, and that primary bootloader is called stage 1. Okay, for stage 1, the primary bootloader takes less than 512 bytes of disk space in MDR, and it's too small a space to contain the instruction necessary to load the complex operating system. Instead, the primary bootloader performs the function of loading either stage 1.5 or stage 2. So very simple thing. A stage 1.5 is a very small program, and as this program doesn't have that much capability to boot or to load the complex operating system. Okay, so what this primary bootloader will do, that is nothing but stage 1, it extracts that stage 1, okay, and it loads into the memory. Once it loads into the memory, what this information contains, this 512 bytes contains four information: MBR boot code that is launched by the BIOS, MBR disk signature, partition table information. Then partition table means when I talk about it will have information only about primary and extended, not logicals, and it contains MBR disk boot signature. So these are the 4 components this 512 bytes is going to contain, and this gets loaded into the RAM, extracts and loads into the RAM. Once it loads into the RAM, immediately it passes the control to the stage 1.5. Okay, it passes the control to the stage 1.5. What stage 1.5 is going to contain? Basically, if I want to tell you, stage 1.5 is called the core image of the graph. Okay, stage 1.5 is called core image of the graph. So what is this core image? So the core image, which is going to contain 2 informations. One is file system drivers and the kernel loaded modules. Modules is nothing but, again we can say, device drivers that is needed to boot the operating system. But where exactly the stage 1.5 is located? After the stage 1, it is called the first to 512 bytes. After the first to 512 bytes, okay, whatever the disk space it is there, it is going to be occupied by the stage 1.5. But what is the exact size of the stage 1.5? It is 30 KB. Okay, so listen here, the stage 1 cannot load the stage 2 directly. Okay, but it is normal setup, okay, up to load the stage 1.5. Okay, and this can happen when the slash boot partition is situated beyond the 1024 cylinders head of the hard drive. Okay, and grab stage 1.5 located on the first 30 KB of the hard disk immediately after the MBR and before the first partition. And this space is utilized to store the file system drivers and modules. This enables the stage 1.5 to load stage 2 and to load from any known location of the file system. Okay, this is the information. And the grub stage 1.5 is very important because it contains the file system drivers to open the file system at specifically stage 2. Okay, and what stage 2 is going to do? Stage 2, this is responsible for loading the kernel by looking into this configuration file. Okay, and this file will flash up the title screen and try to boot the machine. So let me give you first information about slash boot slash grub slash grub.config. So this grub.config file, can you see, this is a title screen that is being printed when you power on the machine. And this is all the components, root, kernel and init target. So let me power on one machine and let me show you how this is going to work. Okay, when I just power on this machine, okay, sorry. So you are able to see this title screen here. You're able to see this title screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so this title screen is displayed from which file? That grub.config file. But how this file is being read? See, small example. I just powered on the machine, so by default the post is going to perform, and once the post has been completed, it immediately checks the boot priority, and in the boot priority the first boot device will be hard disk. It will try to boot from the hard disk. So when it is trying to boot from the hard disk, on the hard disk the first to 512 bytes, that is called stage 1, that is also called MBR, that is also called stage bootstrap program. Okay, the first to 512 bytes which contains the MBR or a bootstrap program or a grub stage 1, okay, it is just small information. Okay, and what it does, it contains the information information such as that information is loaded from with the help of BIOS, first thing. Second thing is it contains the MBR boot signature, and third thing is it contains the partition information like primary and extended partition information. All these things it is going to contain. So it just extracts it and loads, and immediately it passes the controls to the stage 2, sorry, stage 1.5. Okay, because this small information doesn't have a capability to boot the operating system. So it immediately passes the control to the stage 1.5. Where the stage 1.5 is located, that is a big question. See, after the first stage 1, immediately after the first 512 bytes, it is going to occupy the 30 KB of disk space for storing the stage 1.5. Okay, so once this is stage 1.5, once the stage 1.5 get extract and it loads, okay, into the, what information is stored in stage 1.5? Stage 1.5 contains file system drivers and kernel loaded modules. And these two are very, very important, because once it extracts this information and moves to the stage 2, and because of this 30 KB of this information, it is allowing the stage 2 to recognize the boot partition, because in the /boot partition only we have a grep configuration file. That is the reason. So it will extract that information and allows the stage 2 to recognize the /boot partition. Once /boot partition is recognized, it will read the grep configuration file and immediately it starts displaying this flash screen. This is a title screen, it is being displayed. Understand? Getting it? So stage 2 is going to read which file? /boot /grep/grep.config file. This configuration file is read by the stage 2, and that is the reason it is displaying this flash screen. This is the reason it is displaying this title screen. And remember one thing, grep is a bootloader which is interactive command interface. Getting my point? Clear? So why I'm saying it is interactive command interface, can you see at the bottom of this title screen there are some commands like E to edit, A to modify the kernel argument, and C for command line.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Okay. So this is the information. Because of these commands only we can say that grep is command interactive, command. You can edit this. You can just say E. You see root kernel init rd, and you can see this information in the grep.config also. Sorry, where is that file? So even here also you can see root, you can see kernel, you can see init rd. And this kernel is pointing to which file system? Can you see from where it is booting? So after reading this file only, it will decide to boot from the root. By seeing this information, can you see this? That's just the way. Okay, so this is very, very important thing that you have to understand. Okay, and remember one thing, the stage 1, stage 1.5, stage 2, grep.config file, this is all chain loader. Within this chain loader, if any of this component is having a problem, your system will never boot. It will come to this prompt. What is that? Grep command. Understand? So when it comes to the grep command prompt, it never boots the operating system, because there is a problem with the grep. That's the reason. So until unless you will not recover the grep, you will not troubleshoot the grep, we are not supposed to. It will not boot the operating system at all. Clear? Any doubts here?
No.
Understand? అర్థమవుతుంది కదా?
అర్థమవుతుంది.
ఓకే, వై స్పెసిఫిక్లీ ఇంత డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నామంటే, మీరు ఎంత డెప్త్గా దీన్ని విజువలైజ్ చేస్తే అంత ఈజీగా మీకు బూటింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ ట్రబుల్ షూటింగ్ అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకే, మీరు దీన్ని ఫిజికల్గా చూడలేరు, మీరు ఫిజికల్గా దీన్ని ట్రబుల్ షూట్ చేయలేరు. ఓకే, అఫ్కోర్స్ దే ఆర్ సమ్ సినారియోస్ మీరు ఫిజికల్గా గ్రబ్ని ఖరాబ్ చేయొచ్చు, లేదని అనట్లేదు, రైట్? బట్ స్టిల్, ఓకే, గెటింగ్ ఇట్. సో ఇట్స్ ఎ వెరీ రేర్ థింగ్. అంటే మీరు ఒక 1000 సర్వర్లలో మీరు వర్క్ చేసే 4-5 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్లో మీరు ఒక్కటో రెండోసారి ఇలాంటి ఇష్యూ చూస్తారు. ఓకే, గెటింగ్ ఇట్. సో అలాంటప్పుడు మీరు you should have all the informations about the configuration files, about the commands, about the process, how the booting process happens. Then only you can go for recovery. Okay, this is the thing, right? And the flash screen వస్తుంది చూసారా, టైటిల్ స్క్రీన్ ఇక్కడ. How it is coming, this title screen? ఈ టైటిల్ స్క్రీన్ రావడానికి ఎవరు హెల్ప్ చేస్తున్నారు మనకు? సో ఇక్కడ మీరు /boot/grub అనే లొకేషన్ లోకి వెళ్తే ఇక్కడ ఒక ఫైల్ చూసారా, flash.xpm.gz. ఓకే, ఈ ఫైల్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఫ్లాష్ అవుతుంది. ఈ ఫైల్ ఈ grub కాన్ఫిగ్ ఫైల్ ని ఫ్లాష్ చేస్తుంది. అందు గురించే మీకు ఇక్కడ ఈ టైటిల్ స్క్రీన్ అనేది కనిపిస్తుంది, లేకపోతే కనిపించదు. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి ఏంటిదంటే ఇక్కడ మీరు రూట్ అని చెప్పి ఇక్కడ అలియాస్ నేమ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది చూసారా, hd0-0. సో ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్స్ అన్ని ఈ ఫైల్లో ఉంటాయి. సో బేసిక్ గా ఇవన్నీ అలియాస్ నేమ్స్ గ్రబ్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తుంది. సో ప్రతి ఒక్క బూట్ లోడర్ కి ప్రతి డివైస్ కి అలియాస్ నేమ్స్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తుంది, అలాగే గ్రబ్ కూడా డిఫైన్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్ ఇక్కడ చూసారా మనకి ఎన్ని స్టేజ్ 1.5 ఉన్నాయి. ఎస్, ఎందుకు ఇన్ని స్టేజ్ 1.5s ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ చూడండి, XFS తో ఉంది, VS EFS అని, ఇంకా UFS అని, ఏమేమో ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, రైట్. సో ఎందుకు ఇన్ని 1.5s ఉన్నాయి? ఏమన్నా ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఉందా దీనికి ఇన్ని 1.5s ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడానికి? Do you think that is there any importance?
Yeah.
What is that? Any idea?
It's like interaction between kernel and system drivers.
I'm asking you one thing. ఇన్ని స్టేజ్ 1.5 ఎందుకు ఉన్నాయి? ఇక్కడ స్టేజ్ 1 ఒకటే ఉందా? ఇక్కడ స్టేజ్ 2 ఒకటే ఉంది, కానీ స్టేజ్ 1.5 ఇన్ని గానం ఎందుకు ఉన్నాయి? అది కూడా ఒకటో రెండో ఉండొచ్చు కదా. ఎందుకంటే లైనెక్స్ ఈజ్ రిచ్ ఆఫ్ ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను లైనెక్స్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ ఇప్పుడు ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశాను. ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాను? ext4. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో ext4 యూజ్ చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి ఈ 1.5 యూజ్ చేస్తుంది. అదే నేను లైనెక్స్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసేటప్పుడు XFS ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తే XFS_stage 1.5 యూజ్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, అదే నేను ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ DVG నుంచి బూట్ చేశాను అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఏ ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ యూజ్ చేస్తుంది? ISO 9660_stage 1.5. అదే ఇన్ కేస్ నేను ఓకే వేరే ఏమైనా ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్స్ కానీ UFS కానివ్వండి, ఇంకా మినెక్స్ ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ కానివ్వండి, ఇంకేదైనా ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్స్ మనం యూజ్ చేస్తే ఆ బూటింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ లో ఆ పర్టికులర్ స్టేజ్ 1.5 యూజ్ చేస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే స్టేజ్ 1.5 ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇట్ కంటైన్స్ ద ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ అండ్ ద మాడ్యూల్స్, డివైస్ డ్రైవర్స్ మాడ్యూల్స్. అందు గురించి అర్థమవుతుంది ఇక్కడ దాకా? రైట్. So this is the way how it is going to work. So we have discussed about stage 1, stage 1.5 and stage 2 and all the configuration file, and this is the components of a grub. Stage 1, stage 1.5, stage 2 mini.lst file అనొచ్చు, లేకపోతే grub configuration file అనొచ్చు, like device maps. So ఈ ఉన్న configurations లో ఈ 5 components లో ఏ ఒక component problem ఉన్నా కూడా booting process జరగదు. Okay, and when I'm talking about the booting process, so pratisari when we talk about the booting process, we have to discuss about the architectures. What is this architectures here? So can you see these architectures? Linux supports all these hardware architectures. Okay, prati oka hardware architecture kelte grub ki oka different naming convention untadi. And gurtu pettukondi AMD and x86 32-bit 64-bit మాత్రమే grub అని ఉంటుంది. అదే మీరు IBM I series కానీ P series సర్వర్ వెళ్తే I series కి ఏమో AS400 అని ఉంటుంది, P series కి ఏమో యాబూట్ అని ఉంటుంది. అదే మీరు మెయిన్ ఫ్రేమ్ సర్వర్స్ వెళ్తే ZIPL అని ఉంటుంది. అంటే గ్రబ్ ని వాళ్ళు రీనేమ్ చేసి పెట్టారు. అదే ఐటానియం సర్వర్స్ వెళ్తే మీకు ఈలిల్లు అని ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఆ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్స్ కి డిఫరెంట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్, అంటే లైనక్సే కానీ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ లో ఆ గ్రబ్ అనే బూట్ లోడర్ కి డిఫరెంట్ నేమింగ్ కన్వెన్షన్స్ ఇచ్చారు. Okay, so this is very important thing, and so this is all the informations here, and this is all the commands that helps us in recovering the grub. So మీ grub కరప్ట్ అయిందని ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? ఇక్కడ ప్రత్యేకించి కమాండ్ ఏం లేదు grub ఒక కన్సిస్టెన్సీ చెక్ చేయడానికి. సింపుల్ గా మీరు రీబూట్ చేసిన తర్వాత సిస్టమ్ బూట్ కావట్లేదంటే మీ ఆర్ సస్పెక్టింగ్ దట్ దేర్ షుడ్ బి సమ్ ప్రాబ్లం. ఇన్ కేస్ రియల్ గా గ్రబ్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉందనుకోండి, అప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు? లైక్ ఇన్స్టలేషన్ టైంలో మీకు ఒకటి ఆప్షన్ చూపించాను, రెస్క్యూ ఇన్స్టాల్ సిస్టమ్ అని, రైట్? సో ఆ DVD కానీ బూటబుల్ మీడియా కానీ పెట్టేసి we will try to boot from the media and we will just get into the rescue install system and we will try to run this particular command on the hard disk where the operating system is installed, and it will try to recover the graph. Okay, so this is all very important thing. So ఇవన్నీ recover చేస్తుంది graph in command install చేస్తే. So this is all the information. Is there any doubt still here?
No.
So what I will do is I'm going to stop here. Actually మనకు బూటింగ్ ఫేసెస్ డిస్కస్ చేయాలి. ఇప్పుడు దాకా మనం ఏవైతే డిస్కస్ చేసామో మనము ఫ్రామ్ నుంచి grub stage 1, stage 2 and the mini.lst file, I mean the grub.config file, ఇక్కడ దాకా ఏదైతే డిస్కస్ చేసినామో అది మోర్ దెన్ 50% ఆఫ్ బూటింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ మనం ఆల్రెడీ డిస్కస్ చేసేసాం. ఓకే, బట్ ఇక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే బూటింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ ని ఆన్ ద హోల్ 6 ఫేసెస్ గా డివైడ్ చేశారు. ఓకే, ఒక్కొక్క ఫేజ్ మీరు అర్థం చేసుకుంటే అది ఇంకా ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది బూటింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ ఎలా జరుగుతుందో తెలుసుకోవడానికి. సో ఈ ఫేసెస్ అన్ని మనం రేపు డిస్కస్ చేసి we will complete the booting process and we will go with some other new concept. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Fine?
Yeah.
So booting process అయ్యింది అంటే మనం RPM డిస్కస్ చేద్దాము. రేపు RPM అయిపోయిందంటే ఎల్లుండి డిస్కస్ చేయొచ్చు.
Okay.
Okay? That's the information. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's right then. See you.
Okay, thank you.